What's going on, man? Just here on a Sunday, and I hope everybody was able to relax today, man. Get out to church or wherever you worship from, man, and hear a good word and just, eat some good food today and just kick back and re-energize for the upcoming week. Family and I, we was able to. It's cold here in Milwaukee, so we for the most part stayed in today. Like I went to the gym, and then my wife was able to go to the grocery store, and then we was able to watch church. So it was pretty chill day, man. It was needed in terms of the week we had last week. So I was making this video because I just wanted to send a special shout out and just the biggest, most ultimate salutes to the pastor who I watch, Jonathan Evans at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church. So right now, Jonathan Evans is the current lead pastor at Oak Cliff. His father, Dr. Tony Evans, was the senior pastor. But unfortunately, because of certain circumstances, Tony Evans had to step down and give up his pastoral duties. And he actually was reinstated to preach again, but he won't be preaching at Oak Cliff as the senior pastor anymore. So in that time, like I said, Jonathan was able to take over and take the spot as lead pastor. And in the next coming weeks, I think Tony Evans is probably going to deliver one of his last sermons at Oak Cliff and install Jonathan most likely as like the official like senior pastor of Oak Cliff. And I always thought Jonathan was a really good preacher, just a dope person, man. Younger guy in his 40s, energetic, like on fire for Christ. Just one of those guys who just brings a certain passion and enthusiasm to the pulpit that's just infectious. And he preached a sermon today about just grasshoppers in the church. And when he said grasshoppers, he's basically referring to when the Hebrews, when God exiled them out of Egypt and got them out of bondage, and they were in the wilderness, basically trying to find the promised land. And as Moses was the leader of them, and Joshua eventually transitioned into power, into the seat of Moses, they came close to Canaan, which was the promised land. And before they were going to enter that land, Joshua sent spies to check out the land, to make sure everything was okay to enter into the land. And when the spies checked out the land, they realized that giants were in the land, and they didn't know how they were going to claim this land as their own. And the men said that they were grasshoppers compared to these guys. And Jonathan Evans made the point, which was an excellent point, that was, so basically because these men were insecure, they thought that the people that were there in Canaan at the time viewed them as grasshoppers. And he was saying that was a lie. Like, because these people were insecure, they tried to put their insecurities on other people and say other people saw them as how they see themselves. And that just wasn't the case. And Jonathan was able to relate the story to his own life, how he had certain people tell him that because Tony Evans was the senior pastor at Oak Cliff for years, that he wouldn't be able to follow in his footsteps and be a good candidate to take over to lead the church. And he heard that from people that were, in his circle, people that he trusted, people that, were believers, just senior leaders in the church who wore suits, and they displayed some signs that they were displayed good fruit, and they were just people he looked up to. But to basically hear negativity from those people, Jonathan basically internalized that and believed it himself, because I'm pretty sure he understood who his dad was, the talent and the things he brought to the pulpit as a pastor, and just the figure his dad was in the community. And he understood that that's a hard act to follow. So he probably already had certain insecurities and just certain, negative thoughts about himself taking up that mantle. But to then have people who he looked up to reiterate that to him, I can understand how something like that would, bring confidence down and wants you to, take on a smaller role or just quit as a whole just because you don't feel worthy to step into that mantle. But Jonathan was saying that, he had certain people in his life, especially his mother, to reiterate him and to tell him that no, like God does have a plan for your life. And don't let, hearing certain things from certain people, push you out of your purpose. And he was clear about it. And he was just saying in life, man, you're going to have certain people who they supposed to be in your corner. They're supposed to be influencing you and, and you pushing you to your purpose, will sway you and, bring negativity to your life. And that type of stuff can bump you off your purpose. And I was just so proud of him to just preach that message with boldness and stand strong, stand tall, and deliver with confidence and deliver a message that just hit home. Like in life, I've had stuff like that, especially when it came to like when I played ball, people saying like, oh, you're not going to be this or you're not going to be that. Certain coaches, certain players, and it can make you lose confidence. It can make you doubt yourself. And it can make you even just want to give up at times. But at the end of the day, man, you got to trust the process, trust the work that you've put in, and that your skills and just your heart and your mentality will work for you and push you over the top. And when it came to basketball and just in life, man, you're going to have people who doubt you, people who don't believe in you. But it's up to you to, like I said, have faith in God and just have faith in the time and the effort that you put into your craft. That one thing that at one point stuff will turn around for you. But it's hard. It's not hard to, get swayed from, especially people who you look up to and people whose opinions matter in your life to not, give you confidence, influence, put in your head good thoughts about your journey. So, but again, I was just so proud of him. And I can't lie, man, Tony Evans was definitely a figure in my life who I looked up to. I was always, eager and happy to see his, Tony Evans preach. I was always looking forward to his sermons, just the way he was so biblically sound. He went through the word. He broke it down to where you could understand. He taught. And then towards the end of his sermons, you saw the fire come out when he would wrap the sermon up and tie things together. So definitely, Tony Evans was definitely a pillar in that community. But I feel like Jonathan Evans can come in and do a good job as well with pushing the church forward. Now, one of the good things he necessarily didn't say, but he was kind of touching that, is if Jonathan Evans tries to be Tony Evans, he is going to fail. Jonathan Evans has to be Jonathan Evans and do it his way. Definitely still follow certain principles and have integrity and have a certain seriousness to the responsibility at hand in terms of being the senior pastor. But you also gotta be you. You gotta do the stuff that makes you, your personality, the things that you're good at, embrace that. And just do the best you can, being the best person you are. And I think he has a beautiful wife, beautiful family behind him, and he has the church behind him in this journey. So I'm like, again, man, big salutes to Jonathan, man. I was telling my wife, like, if we was living in Texas and Jonathan Evans had a men's group that met once a week, I would be there every week, just chop it up with him, go through the word, and just build and just go and talk about life. Like, that is one thing I'm kind of missing in my life right now. But hopefully in due time, I can have that type of situation come up. So again, man, salute to Jonathan Evans. And just another thing I wanted to talk about is just my job, man. Like, I'm a truck driver, semi-truck driver by trade. And work is, it's rewarding in terms of financially. But it's hard work, and I get up early every day, and the way my schedule is set up right now, like I'm on Saturdays, and that is tough to have a family that you want to get home to and enjoy the weekends with. But now, because of my work schedule and coming home in the afternoons on Saturday, I miss some time with my family that I wish I could get back. But I understand right now it's a sacrifice I kind of got to make just because of our, what our bills are and just what certain things are in my life. Like I have to make a certain amount of money. So I ain't gonna lie, sometimes like, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm just feeling like just stretched beyond, what I can be stretched. But I think at the end of the day, I got to remind myself, like, God has a plan for my life and everything happens for a reason. And like, as a father, I have a responsibility to this family to take care of them and provide. And sometimes that's not going to always feel comfortable. That's not always going to be easy, but it's my responsibility as a man to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to take care of them. So that is something I have to reiterate to myself at times. And life just isn't gonna always be easy, man. You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, you're gonna have trials, you're gonna have tribulations, but that don't mean you stop living. Man, that's the beauty of life, man. The ups and downs and just experiencing everything. So I'm gonna keep my head down, keep grinding and keep doing what I gotta do until another opportunity comes. That's why I go so hard with the podcast. That's why I'm trying to, get myself back into barbering, build a clientele back up. The ultimate goal for me with this podcast is to create an opportunity for myself, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be, somebody who's in media sees me and thinks I have potential to do something there, but just, create another opportunity for myself so I don't have to get up at 3 a.m. every morning, actually 2 a.m. every day during the week. But until that opportunity comes, man, I got to do what I have to do for my family, man. I can't cheat them. I can't cheat my kids, man. I'm dedicated to giving them a fair one at the end of the day, man. But I just ask for prayers from people. I just ask for encouragement, man, just keep a brother going, man. And I would give that to anybody who asked it for me. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got, man. I'm just down here, cleaning up and just getting ready for the week tomorrow, man. So I love y'all. I would ask y'all to just tune into the content, man. Tune into the channel, man. Some of the stuff I'm putting out, man. It's a lot of passion and effort that goes into making these videos, man. And I would just y'all just give it a try and just check out the content, man. If you like it, please like, subscribe, share, man. It all helps in terms of reaching the goal to be monetized, man. I'm close. I already reached the goal in terms of not hours. What's the other one? Of subscribers. Like I'm over the amount you need to have for subscribers. Now I just got to get my viewing hours up. So I just ask people to tune in, man. But we're going to keep going, man. This is Cut Talk 525 Podcast. This is Mark Pace, man. I love y'all. Y'all take it easy, man.